after he was geared out by UDF MLAs in the Assembly, the Kerala Governor Arif Mohammad Khan made his stand clear on CAA while in fact reading out his speech. The Governor said in Assembly, and I quote, "I'm going to read this paragraph against CAA because the Chief Minister wants me to read it. Although I hold the view this doesn't come under policy or program. CM has said this is the view of the government and to honour his wish," and then went on to read exactly what was written in the document by the Kerala government. Take a look at exactly what happened.
I have been corresponding with the Honourable Chief Minister since last few days. I have my reservations because I'm going to read it. I'm going to read this para. I'm going to read this para because Honourable Chief Minister wants me to read this, although I hold the view that this does not come under the definition of policy or program. The Honourable Chief Minister himself has said in his letter that this is the view of the government. To honour his wish, I disagree, but to honour his wish, I am going to read this para.
A. Vijay Raghavan of the LDF is joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Vijay Raghavan, do you agree with what the UDF did today at the Assembly, the fact that they tried to block the governor and then staged a walkout while the governor was speaking?
See, that was a politically motivated move by the opposition in Kerala. See, the government and the governor, both of them are part of doing some constitutional responsibilities. That is part of the democratic process. When we will start the session, assembly session in a new year, that is mandatory from the side of the governor to deliver his address to the legislative assembly and through that to the people of Kerala. So he has done the constitutional responsibility. Naturally, the state government, of course, have to make all the arrangements for that. So this was a constitutional process which was done in Kerala. Unfortunately, the opposition in Kerala has their own political motive. Thereby, they boycotted the assembly session in the morning.
But sir, this is something that, the UDF and LDF perhaps agree on the issue of CAA and NRC. The UDF has strongly backed your government on this issue. So there have been a lot of questions about whether this kind of a protest was something that the LDF also backs in the Assembly.
You see, this is nothing related to the proceedings in the Kerala Assembly. Both these issues are related to the central government and its policies. So naturally, with regard to both these enactments and processes, we have our difference of opinion. That struggle is against the central government and the Modi regime at Delhi. We independently organized so many action programs, including a statewide human change day before yesterday. So on that process, our differences with the central government persist. But that does not mean we have some difference of opinion to the governor on his constitutional position.
Okay, Mr. Vijay Raghavan, just one last answer from you, sir, before I let you go. The governor also in his speech has made a mention of CAA because that was given to him. But in that comment that he's made, he's also said very clearly that the CAA is not policy or program, which is why he is of the view that it shouldn't even be mentioned in the Assembly. Is this also a political move by the LDF to include CAA in his address?
You see, with regard to the state government, it has its own political views also. So naturally, that would reflect in the governor's speech, which has been prepared by the cabinet of the state. So that is naturally the view of the Kerala state government. As far as the governor is concerned, he may have some difference of opinion. In a pluralistic society, that would be there. But he did his constitutional responsibility.
Mr. Vijay Raghavan, thank you for speaking to us. Let me also take this across now to Gopi Krishnan Unitan. Gopi, we just had a conversation with the LDF's Vijay Raghavan. He maintains that the LDF is against this kind of a protest by the UDF. But what's also interesting is what the Kerala governor has now said. He, in fact, we were all wondering and speculating on whether he would make a mention of the paragraph that's mentioned on CAA. He did mention it, but also put forth his view on it.
Well, absolutely, Akshita, because there seems to be no end to the drama or this confusion around this policy speech today, because since morning, since the time Governor has reached here, we have seen things that we haven't really seen in the recent past of Kerala Assembly. The opposition, which is actually holding placards in the very first day of the budget session, they are trying to stop the Governor, the marshals being called in to escort the Governor, trying to sneak the way. And also we had the opposition MLA was telling that one of the opposition MLAs were injured during this marshals action, and then finally the Governor managing to get into the dais, giving this speech, opposition walking out, opposition holding a sit-in protest outside the State Assembly, and during this speech, Governor himself finally reading that particular portion only after making sure that he has actually made the remarks of his dissent or his disagreement. And I will again read out what the Governor has said or has given as an explanation before reading this particular anti-CAA remark. I am going to read this paragraph because the CM wants me to read this. Also, I have the view this does not come under the policy or program. CM himself said this is the view of the government. I disagree, but to honor his wish, I am reading this paragraph. So this is actually what has happened inside the assembly, because in the past we have seen the governors who actually disagree with particular portions or statements or sentence in the policy document, but they would usually leave or skip that particular thing out. And there is also a precedence that the governor will actually read the first few paragraphs of this particular document, and then they will go directly to the last paragraph, and then it is actually considered that the governor has read the complete document. Perhaps this could again be the first time that a governor is reading a particular statement or a particular portion in that document by giving it a preface or giving an explanation that I do not agree with him, but I'm actually reading it. So absolutely unusual scenes, because these are all things that we have never really expected to have been happening in the assembly. We were expecting some agitation or some resistance from the opposition. We did not really think that this would go to such a level, or that the opposition is actually staging a very strong physical protest inside the assembly. Now we have been told that the governor has just concluded his speech, is what we are trying to understand, and now there is actually security arrangement outside the State Assembly. I will ask my camera person to show you this visual, because many of the opposition MLAs were still there. Now the police have lined up, making a corridor for the governor's vehicle to pass through, because this is how where he will come out of the assembly from. And the police is also maintaining very high caution here. As you can see here, the police personnel have lined up on either side of this way which is coming out of the assembly, and the media personnel who were standing there were asked to move to make way for the governor. And we will certainly have to wait and watch on what are going to be the repercussions of today's incident that unfolded in the assembly.
Okay, Gopi, thank you for getting us all those details on the latest that's happening there in the Kerala Assembly.